What's up, guys, and welcome back to Rising Thrills, your #1 source for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland roller coaster content. And today, I will be reviewing Candymonium at Hersheypark. In 2020, Candymonium at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania was opened. It opened alongside the new Chocolate Town and entry area of the park. Candymonium has a length of 4,636 feet, a top height of 110 feet, a top speed of 76 miles per hour. Candymonium has 3 trains with 7 cars per train. Riders are seated in single-row trains with 4 riders across, for a total of 28 riders per train. Once you get onto Candymonium's trains, then you start ascending the lift hill. Once you get to the top of the 210-foot tall lift hill, then you go down the drop, and after you go down the drop, then you go through a 169-foot tall hill. After you go through that 169-foot hill, then you go through a hammerhead turnaround. After you go through the hammerhead turnaround, then you go through a 156-foot hill. After you go through the hammerhead turnaround, then you go through a helix, and then what's cool about this is after you go to the helix, once you're going down, because the helix, you're going to the right and you're rising. But then once you get to the top, you go down, but like it's almost like a wave turn, like you go to the left. So this part of the ride, you get some good air time. You can get basically ejected. I mean, it's not like ejector air time, but this is one of the best points of the ride for air time. After you go through that helix and that basically wave turn, then you go through another hill. This hill does have a trim brake on it. I do find that it does give some air time, but it kind of lacks in the air time. After you go through that hill, then you go through a turnaround, which the really cool part about this turnaround is you go around the fountain. So, me personally, what I like to do is when I'm riding this is just stare at the fountain, and it gives a fun sensation. After you go through that turnaround, then you basically come up and then into the brake run, the first brake run. You come up and then you kind of dip down and you pull into the brake run. After that, you come down off of that brake run into a little valley, and then you come up into the main brake run. So this ride is definitely a ride that I feel like, where other rides, it would just be a straight track or a flat, even track. It has dips and stuff. Other rides with that helix, it would just, do the helix and then dip down, but just, gives almost a wave turn type of thing. So this ride, it really makes the best out of what it is. I know a lot of people say they don't really like it, but they don't really like it. It's not their favorite coaster ever. It's not my favorite coaster ever, but I still enjoy it. It's definitely, obviously this ride can get really long lines. In the summer, on Saturdays, it can get 2-3 hour lines easily. The capacity is great. It's just a factor of that, there's just so many people riding it, and especially at the beginning of the day, there's a lot of people going on it, and it can get long lines. So what I would recommend is going on it in the middle of the day, or going on it at the end of the day. I've gone on it tons of times during last year when I had my pastor Hershey. Just a lot of times, and I really enjoyed it. Especially at nighttime during Candy Lane. It's definitely a good night ride. But overall, this is a fun ride. It gives some good airtime for a B&M Hyper. This is the only it's not the only B&M Hyper I've been on. I've been on Nitro at Great Adventure. So honestly, this is a tough one to figure out if this is better than Nitro or not. If I should do a video comparing this to Nitro, comment down below. But overall, Candymonium is a fun ride. I definitely enjoy it. It has some good airtime moments, that wave turn element, and it really just has some very unique elements and that give airtime, and it's really a good airtime machine, really. It doesn't give ejector airtime like Sky Rush or anything, but it does give some floater airtime and even some flowjector airtime, which is I don't know. It's like a mix of floater airtime and ejector airtime, where, you know, it's almost you're being ejected, but it's not quite as much as like Sky Rush. But overall, it's a fun ride, and I definitely enjoy riding it. One of my favorite rides at the park. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For my final score for Candymonium at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania, I will be giving it a 9 out of 10. Yes, a 9 out of 10. Because overall, it's a fun ride, and I definitely enjoy it. And I wouldn't give it a 10, obviously, because it's not a 10 out of 10. There's definitely some flaws with it. Honestly, as I've ridden it more, I've gotten more of a love for it. So, I don't know. But overall, it's a fun ride. And for my final score for Candymonium at Hersheypark in Hershey, Pennsylvania, I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye.